Now, until the Game Awards were shown last year, I didn't actually know that Metaphor Refantazio actually existed. No offense. But then when I started looking more and more into this game, it wasn't actually convincing me to play this game. It's in the form of an anime with its cutscenes and story. It's turn-based combat for the majority, and you know, I'm not too particularly fond with that. And it's set in a world where there's a diverse set of tribes and characters. With the majority of them seem to discriminate against you, the main protagonist, who is an elder, as you resemble humans. Let me just say, humans in this game are big fat off monsters, so they're not like us. Well, some of them are pretty ugly, but you know what I mean. They are these gigantic, massive, disgusting things that you need to kill. But also the main religion of this game, the Sanctus Church, as they basically hate the elders as they're able to wield magic without igniters, which we're gonna come to. So you can assume that this game is everything we don't want in a video game. Diversity, politics, religion. All we want to do is escape the outside world that we live in with gaming. This game has it all. That's all I'm saying. That it has it all. Do we need this in games? I have to say, the game is freaking amazing. Didn't think I would love the turn-based combat. Didn't think I would love the stories and the characters. It's actually done so freaking well, and I can't get enough of Metaphor Refantazio. Then the game is just beautiful, but it also reminds me of like Pokemon for some reason. Maybe because that's the last turn-based game I've played, but not only that, the way the world is and the way you explore it, I imagine Pokemon should be like this, and not like this. But the great thing about this game, if you're not sure about it, like I was, you can download the demo. And let me say, the demo is not a demo. The demo is like 5 to 7 hours. I couldn't believe how long this demo was. And I was like, okay, this game has to convince me. I love the story, I love the characters. I have to be intrigued by what's gonna happen. It does it. That's what's crazy about this game. It does it. And then by the end of it, I was sitting there, oh my gosh, no! And then I wanted to order it physical, which I did, and it took a couple of days, and I was still pissed off about that. Yeah, listen, I'm 32, 33. I like to buy physical. Listen, the PSN network went down the other day, and I could still play my games Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because I had it physical. I don't know if you guys even remember MSN Messenger. Do you remember that? Do you? God, good time. Anyways, this is my review of Metaphor Refantazio, and make sure you hit the like button because we're trying to make it full time. And also, this video is sponsored by Instant Gaming. Damn, I have to say, the PS Store is a freaking joke. They're so expensive. Why would I even want to? Now listen, mate, if you want the best deals for PlayStation games, why don't you go to Instant Gaming for the best deals for digital games? Yeah, but it could be a scam. Instant Gaming is not another marketplace, as it gets its games straight from the source, and they have amazing reviews on Trustpilot. Wow, okay. And make sure you sign up with my link below, and then once you've done that, make sure you click the giveaway link, as every month they're going to give away a game of your choice, so you might as well enter. And they don't only have PlayStation. Well, I only play PlayStation anyway. Shut up! Okay. They have Xbox games, they have Steam games, PlayStation, and Nintendo games. What more do you want? Wow. It's pretty good though. 21% off Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Man, I love that game. That is a must play. Shut up. Jesus. Civilization 7, 26% off. Monster Hunter Wilds, a game that everyone is super excited about, 31% off the pre-order price. That is madness. Shut it. You shut up. No, you shut up. Now, Metaphor Refantazio takes place in the United Kingdom of Uchronia, a medieval fantasy world where its people are known as tribes. You are an elder, a tribe which is hated by a lot of the others. Many choose to shut you off.
I apologize for it.
See? Take a cue from your friend in the lesser tribe.
Mainly because you can wield magic without an igniter. All of the other tribes have distinctive features like wings, some of them are bats, some of them have big ears, some of them don't look too different, and they live for much longer than others. The king gets killed and it is brutal, as the big bad Louis wants to become king, and he will do anything in his power to do so. But the true prince and heir to the throne has been cursed, and you are trying to figure out a way to stop Louis and break the curse. And throughout this game, this is like a anime movie or series, as during the important parts of the game, the cutscenes are amazing and it is so brutal and dark. That's what makes this game even better. It may not look like a dark game. Trust me, it's a dark game. The king who died actually has a plan so that the world chooses their next king. Now there is a special magic, and the king announces that the public and the people will choose their next king based off popularity. And you must take part in numerous challenges in order to prove that you are worthy.
Here and now witness the faces of those most desired to become king.
But there are also allies you will meet throughout the world, which later on you'll be able to build bonds with and unlock new archetypes, which we are going to get to. You will find out so much more about these characters. They go into so much depth. For example, you meet Eugif, Hulkenberg, Groose, Stroll, which Stroll I think is one of my favorites.
You didn't have to do that. Just felt like stepping in. Don't worry about it. Well, see you around. Try not to die out there.
You have Nurus, who is a nutter, and they are all so different, and you end up building an alliance with them, and you eventually become like a sort of family because you get to know each of these individuals.
On the morning of the funeral, I promised Maria that we'd all be back that evening. Break bread together again. I fought with everything I had.
Not long ago, I too had a child. But I couldn't protect him.
After you do the first part of the game, which is the tutorial, when you get to the royal capital, which is Grand Trad, the game starts to open up, and the game is broken into mini districts. The day is broken up into morning, you have afternoon, evening, and late night. Morning, you literally just have breakfast, you catch up with your peers, and then the afternoon is where you can start roaming around. And during this time, you will find certain people to talk to, you can complete certain tasks, and do as you feel. Now, when you set off for a side quest, you will then choose to enter a certain place or a dungeon. This will take a certain amount of time, a day or so. This is one of the main reasons this game really shines. I love the dungeons. There is a lot to explore. Yes, these can feel repetitive, but you can get a lot of rewards, you can find a lot of chests, and it is worth your while to explore. There are so many different monsters that you're going to be like, what the hell? The combat has some open combat, and then you go into turn-based. So when you are roaming these quite big dungeons, they can take a bit of time. Sometimes you just want to keep exploring and you don't want to keep going into turn-based. You will have to on some occasions, but when the enemies are weaker, it's nice to know that you can just hit them outside of combat. But if you are trying to do this with the open combat, you have to be careful, because if the monsters hit you first, this can get frustrating because you can dodge their attacks. If you get hit, then when you go into turn-based, they are at an advantage now. But if you do dodge them and you hit them at a certain point to get all of their life down, you can then go into turn-based and you are at an advantage now, because now you've stunned them and potentially they will probably miss their turn. So it gives you an advantage to kill them.
Let's take them all out.
Usually with turn-based combat, I don't really like turn-based. At first, when you play the demo, it can be very confusing, but there are many ways to help you in this. Now, at first, I didn't know what I was doing. I kept dying and just getting attacked. There is an option that you can let your teammates basically do the fighting for you. You can change it where they're more defensive, more attacking, and then I literally pressed R3. I let them take control of the battle. The good thing about this is that I learned so many things when they were taking control. I was just trying to attack. You can go forward, you can go back in a defensive position, but I started to learn what they were doing. Sometimes when the enemy was doing a massive attack, my teammates would then start stepping back. They would go into a defensive position, and this would save so much more health as opposed to me just trying to attack. So you have to be strategic. Once I started to learn what they were doing, I would then take it upon myself to take control, and you can take back control whenever you want. I started to learn that Hulkenberger's got a certain ability where she can basically stay in a defensive position and take on most of the attacks and draw all the attacks to her. Then with Stroll, because he was a healer, I could basically help her get back to full health and use this method over and over again. It won't work in every scenario. There are certain monsters that they might be two of them, and one of them I was trying to focus on, they just kept respawning. I had to basically chip away at their life simultaneously.
You have my respect.
You then have synthesis attacks, where you can join up with your teammates and unleash devastating attacks.
Just one left. Coordination is key.
Behold my power!
Now, archetypes are the source of which you can perform magic, skills, and attacks, and each character will start off as a certain archetype, and they are very different and each have their own skill tree. And when you get to level 20, you would have mastered that archetype, which means as you go higher, you will unlock new skills along the way. Now, it's always best to stick with one as you will level up, but there are so many archetypes. My gosh, you just want to explore all of them. Once you've mastered an archetype, you could then move on to another one. You can do it at any time. I prefer to kind of master an archetype before going on to another one. It can be annoying as I progress, because I was getting strong with one archetype. I just wanted to stay with that archetype, and I stopped myself from doing that because I wanted to experience what the other archetypes could do. And this is where the game opens up. You have to choose which combination is best for you. So I had like a healer. So you're kind of choosing your archetypes that's going to kind of benefit the whole party. You can learn new archetypes and switch easily from the menu to different archetypes. So when you're literally in a cave, you can switch archetypes if you wanted. Now, to unlock new ones, you need Mag. And with this mysterious person in the academia who is very, very mysterious, he will set certain tasks in order for you to earn, so then you can get rewards from him. And with that, you can then unlock new archetypes. So the game does encourage you to branch out, because he might give you a task of getting a certain archetype to level 20 or level 15, and then that will then open up another branch in that archetype. But the good thing about this game, the skills you learn, you can inherit those skills. So for example, you will be able to use Mag to learn past skills so that you can combine with new archetypes, which is very, very cool. Now, one main tip I will say that at the start of the game I realized I was spending a lot of time in the dungeons and my magic bar would go down. And yes, you can use your melee attack, which is very, very weak. I can't do any attacks with my archetypes. The great thing about the dungeons is that you will find save points or rooms called Magla Hollows, which from there you can actually leave the place and go back and rest. And when you go to enter again, you can fast travel to that Magla Hollow, and then you are fully restocked and you can carry on with that dungeon. So don't be afraid to find that save point. Once you've restocked, you can come back to that Magla Hollow, and then you're basically restocked with health, restocked with magic, and you're good to go. So with all these characters, you'll be able to build the bonds of these characters, which again is very important. You have royal virtues, which are a set of stats and are crucial for ranking specific follower bonds and unlocking certain shops and dialogue options. There are 5 different royal virtues which will be vital for unlocking certain archetypes, progressing certain side quests, and I have to say, these side quests, there is so much depth to these. You will dive into their backstories, the struggles, their depression, and I really wanted to make sure I didn't neglect them.
So, thank you. I'll go to bed now.
Captain.
Good night.
Now, with Metaphor Refantazio, it took me a long time to actually play this game. Not until I realized it made the contender for Game of the Year. Then I thought, you know what? I might actually like this game. And the only reason I got addicted to this game was because the demo was there. But also, the demo is so freaking long. It's like 6 to 7 hours. This is longer than Hellblade.
Damn. I'm sorry.
The art style is just beautiful, the story, the settings, I love the combat, and I'm not really a fan of turn-based combat. The fact that this game is about racism, extreme religion, this is a game that's just been made in a fantasy world, but it does it in a way where this is a high-quality, story-driven game. So if some of you think, oh, it's got politics, The Witcher 3 has politics. Now, I say, make a game that you think you're going to be passionate about, that's got a different story, that's going to make me escape my reality and go into this world. It's just done in a very good way. Don't be put off thinking, oh no, there's diversity. It's a very, very good game. Don't take my word for it. Play through the whole demo, which may be between 5 to 7 hours. By the end of that demo, I was like, no. The only thing I will say is that my main character, he's a little bit of a kid. I think he's supposed to be. Like, look at his hair, for God's sake. You know what I mean? He just seems a very, very young. For someone who's trying to be king or trying to rise up, he seems very, very kiddish. But I think that's what they're going with the story. And even though I thoroughly enjoyed this game, I think there will be some that don't like this game. Maybe because of the turn-based combat, if you really don't like that. And if you're someone who doesn't really like too much dialogue, yes, this is a story-driven game. So there is going to be a lot of dialogue, a lot of cutscenes, cutscenes. It's no way more than Final Fantasy 16 was, and that was an amazing freaking game. I would give this a 9 out of 10. Now, what do you think about this video? What do you think about this hair? What do you think about Metaphor Refantazio? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know. Let's take a look at the comment of the day from my previous video. PS5 games coming out in February 2025. Shout out to Jamie Fletcher. Definitely looking forward to Ghost of Yotai, Dying Light, The Beast, GTA 6, and Marvel's 1943 Rise of Hydra the most. I'm even slightly excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Don't hate me. And Doom, The Dark Ages looks fun, even though I've never played a Doom game before. Cheers for the comment, dude. I have to say this year has started off very well. Some of you might not think so. Metaphor Refantazio, I know that's last year, but I'm playing it this year. Dynasty Warrior Origins, and obviously Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which my next video will be about that. Not a review, but more like a tips and tricks. And I have to say, wow, this year has started off so freaking well. So there are a lot more games coming this year, maybe GTA 6. I better take this wig off before Els gets back.